Shout to the streets all over the globe. You know what this is, man. You're in the heart of World Hype Media, definitely in coalition with Ground Zero Global. I mean, GZ Global Footprint. You know what I'm saying? We got the impeccable striving going up the ladder. You know what I'm saying? A female boxer from Patterson, New Jersey, the great, you know what I mean? Shadasia Green, you know what I mean? You know what it is, Patterson, New Jersey, all over the globe. Respect what we dealing with, because you got a heart of a real artist, a heart of a real boxer, a heart of a real sister, and a heart of Patterson, New Jersey. So we're gonna take this interview to impeccable heights. And I mean, everybody on the sidewalks all over the globe, give a big shout out to Shadasia Green.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me.
So what's going on, Shadasia? I mean, I know you're working hard right now. You in your training. You know, you get yourself situated for the particular boxing match you got going on. Um, Let the streets know particularly what are you building and how are you building, you know what I'm saying, yourself for this particular fight.
Nah, man, I'm putting in a lot of work, a lot of cardio, a lot of boxing. Like I do with every fight. Every fight we take just as serious. You know, Lonnie Daniels is a tough opponent, and I'm looking forward to putting on a masterful performance. April 17th, live on ESPN at the Infosys Theater. You know, this Saturday I'm feeding the homeless. Um, I'm doing some footwork within my community. I got a class in a little bit. You know, I'm still reaching out to the kids with Patterson Recreation. So camp is camp. You know, it's tough, it's hard, it's gritty, but this is where the rounds are won. And this is where the fight is won in camp.
Okay. So training for this particular fight you got coming up, is the is the training much harder than you had to do, considering the last fight?
I think every camp is harder than the last camp. We what people don't understand is as fighters we get to this level sometimes and we like to start calling the shots. That's not what I do. I'm a worker. I'm a fighter, and my coaches are the bosses, and whatever. I just show up. They give me a time, place, specifics, and I show up. And
Okay.
that's what I've been doing. My training has only gotten harder since I've won those titles because we want to keep.
Okay. So being that you have a real supportive training camp and people behind you, are these the people in your training camp, these your day ones, or you met a lot of them through the course of training?
No, these are my day ones. My trainer Barry Porter started me in boxing when I was 15 years old. Terrific Gist has been around when I started as well. So I've kept the same Wall Athletics. We've been knowing each other for 15 years, and that's where I train at Wall Athletics. And my camp stays the same. I don't need a bunch of extra stuff going on and whatnot, and I need things to keep my mind sharp and keep me focused.
Okay. So is there like a particular time period that you in your mental space is dealing with for all this boxing, and then say I'm gonna let it go here because I'm dealing with my personal life or whatever, or you feel like you going straight down the lineup with anything in competition or whatever, or and moving weight classes and things like that?
No, I mean I never think about when the end period is. Training sometimes can get so complicated and hard. It's like, damn, I can't wait to take a break. But then when I'm on my break, I miss it. So I'm still 150% in it.
Who,
Okay.
who?
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. Who you fighting for the people out there in the world that doesn't know? I know a lot of people know who are you fighting next?
I'm fighting Lonnie Daniels.
Okay, Lana Daniels. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Are you confident?
I'm very confident. Like I said, the rounds and the fight is won in the gym.
How many rounds this fight going to?
It's scheduled for 10, so we don't get paid for overtime.
Okay.
Okay, okay. All right. Go ahead, Sue.
Okay. So who is your hardest fighter thus far in your particular thoughts?
I'd have to say Savannah Marshall, world champion, undisputed world champion, got power. Gave me a real hard go last fight, and I feel like that fight would only has only uplifted my skill set, has only uplifted my experience in the ring. She was tough, she was strong, and I can only grow from there.
Is there any implication in the future to where does she want a rematch?
Not for me. I'm not giving her a rematch. Ain't
Nice.
Oh,
nobody rushing to get in there with another power puncher again. I
Okay.
won fair and square, and that's it.
Okay. Okay. So This particular question of action is a comfortability question, but simply because your name is all over the world right now, and you have so many particular states, countries, and all of it supporting your back for this your particular journey, this and that, whatever. And in the eye of the view of television all over and boxing networks and this and that, whatever. Is there a particular boxer that you actually want to box?
Yeah, I would love to fight Clarissa Shields. I
Mm,
think that'll be a mega fight. I think the world is in high demand of it.
mm,
You got her fans that say I can't stand a chance. I mean, they say that about me every fight, and
mhm.
you got my fans that are itching to see it. I think we should be able to put the fans in one place and put on a beautiful show.
You're undefeated, right?
Now I got one loss,
Who was that lost to?
Franchon Cruz, who she just beat.
Okay. Are you looking for a rematch for the
I would
person?
love to rematch Franchon Cruz. I think that's a great fight too. She has two belts. I have three. And if I when I beat Franchon Cruz, that makes me undisputed, which is a lifetime dream.
And
Mm.
me, I know and I believe that you're going to be her. I don't deal with the ifs and the buts when it comes to a champion because I know you're a champion. Let
Yeah.
me ask you, in your opinion, regardless of what any other opinions was thrown in the air, in that particular loss, in which that loss only causes a gain, what made you feel like? What did you feel like you did wrong in that particular fight?
Everything going into the fight, I did wrong. I was experiencing some grief and some disparities with my internal team, which caused me to relocate in the middle of training. So I
Mm.
gave up a lot. And at the time, I was grieving the loss of a business partner that had became family to me. And so when you get to that level, you got to be able to deal with everything that comes with it. Deal with that people see money and fame, and they start changing, and that's why now I keep my camp so close because it's like um, I never want to get big headed, or I want to remain humble because that's what takes you far. So um, going into that fight, I was just ready for it to be over. You know, um,
Okay.
and there's a different type of over on fight night. You should be excited for fight night. Fight night is the easy part. The
Yeah.
camp is the hardest part. Like I could all camp. I've been waiting for camp to be over, but
Mhm.
fight night, that's where you go in and you produce what it is that you've been working on. And I didn't. I didn't produce anything. I wasn't at my best self. But she was the better woman that night, and she was victorious, and she deserves all the glory for that victory. And I hope we can do it again soon.
Shout out to her and shout out to
Mm-hmm.
respect. So after the grief of that particular fight, what motivated you to get the wipe the grief off and say, son, I'm gonna pick myself back up, and I feel like I could do greater than that night and so many more nights.
I had to. I had to. I think the motivation of having my younger nieces and nephews look to me and
Mhm.
be so hurt by what happened. I had to keep going. I had to keep going and show them that there's no such thing as stopping and quitting. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep going. I got therapy, and I prayed, and I trained. I got back to the lab and worked my way back to a world title, and then another world title, another two world titles, and now we're here live April 17th on ESPN at the Infosys Theater.
Yo, man, shout out to the globe all over the footprint. For all those that's paying attention, this is World Hype Media. This is Ground Zero Global. Um, we have a great boxer with inspirations all over the world.
Patterson, New
From
Jersey.
Paris, New Jersey, definitely salute it. You know what I'm saying? We 100% got your back and things like that, whatever. And let me ask you this: like some artists, they bring out, um, some boxers they bring out artists and music and this and that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Is there an artist in Patterson, Jersey that you would like to bring out? You know what I'm saying? To sponsor and stand in your corner while going out that type of music.
Yeah, it's a secret, but I got a young, amazing rapper that's walking me out. Everything for me, I keep it Jersey. I got to
That's
pour
right,
back into my city some sort of way.
no
You
doubt.
know, I'm out here, I'm fighting, and I'm training, and I'm doing these things. I got to pour into my city some type of way. So I got a special young man that's gonna rap me out April 17th. He's fly, lyrics is crazy from the
Hmm.
heart of Patterson, New Jersey. So I'm looking forward to that too.
You want to get some shout outs to any particular thing that you're dealing with in your life, to, in your progressive move as far as that ladder?
Not really. I mean, I'm a family person, so shout out to my family, my mom, my stepfather, my nieces and nephews, my wife, of
Shout out.
course, my team.
Yes.
Um, you know, um, Shout out to those who aren't here with me. Rest in peace to my pops Merce and my
Rest in peace,
grandfather.
Mercy.
sir.
A lot of people don't know that my grandfather, my mother's father, was a really unique boxer who was sparring the likes of Marvin Hagler, Bobby Patterson. Shout out to him.
Bobby
I know he's
Patterson.
looking down, very proud. Shout out to rest in peace to D. Rip. Sorry, my dog is on the balcony
I
barking.
know
It's
you in
gonna-
camp. It's all good.
He argues with the other dog. I don't understand what they argue about, but whatever.
yeah,
They
yeah,
about to put the gloves on back there. It sound like.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
all right,
Hey
so
yo,
let me ask you this, right? Um, as far as Clarissa Shield, right?
hmm
Did you call her out or did she call you out?
I called her out. They asked me if I wanted to fight her after my fight with Savannah Marshall because she had went on Sway and said that she would fight me if I beat Savannah Marshall. So of course I said, yeah, I would love that fight. And then she fought and she called me out, but I guess she wasn't expecting me to fight, and I have to stay busy, and I got a family to feed. So I mean, I don't see why that justifies as I don't want to fight. I mean, I'll fight
You think she's
in
a
April,
you,
and then whenever she want, we start negotiating 6 to 8 months, and we can fight.
you think she afraid of fighting you?
I don't know. Clarissa Shields is a great fighter. I don't see her being afraid, but I don't know. I don't know why.
I know you're confident. I could tell because I could feel the energy all the way up, and I know you're ready for that. You know what I mean? And I think
Yeah,
you're gonna go in
yeah,
there and do well. You got to stand up for Patterson, so you know you got to drop that bomb over there. You understand? I'm trying
hmm
to say bring that trophy back to Patterson. You know?
my
absolutely.
opinion, my opinion on that particular topic, I don't feel like Clarissa Shields is afraid of you. I feel like Clarissa Shields is more focused in the fact that she's fucked up, that you want that smoke.
hmm
And that makes you much more of a champion without an opponent. You understand what I'm saying? It makes
Yeah.
her feel like she have to pay attention to the fact that you can possibly be the perfect match for her. In Paterson, New Jersey, we believe that you are the perfect match to shut her mouth a little bit.
And make sure you listen to some reggae music too before you enter that fight, so you could get that vibe. You know what I mean? Some real look up.
Yeah.
Look, just on your spare time, whenever you want, just look up CEO 51 and listen to some conscious music. CEO 51. Trust me, you get that vibes when you go up in that ring. You know what I mean? Gotta do
Yeah.
that. The reggae. You listen to reggae?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good. That's what's up. So look up CO 51 whenever you get a chance and listen to some real reggae. You know what I
I
mean?
will,
Go ahead,
for
Sue.
sure.
Shout out to the whole globe. Shout out to my peoples all over Paterson, New Jersey that's supporting Shadasia Green. You know we gonna make sure we here for. Shout out to Zeke down in the bottom. Shout out to Malik Shabazz, Ghetto America. Shout out to my queen. Shout out to Shadasia's whole family that's beside her and everybody that's with her in the training camps as well as in her corners with real love and respect for her in Paterson, New Jersey, man. Shout out to all creativity. Y'all keep her name in the streets. Y'all pay attention to her. And most important, I want all of y'all to get some information to go to this fight. Shadeja, give them another link to acknowledge that
Yeah.
fight
Where's
again.
the fight
Before
taking place anyway? I don't know. I need to know where the
she
fight.
about,
The
she about to
the
let you
fight
know.
the fight is April 17th, live on ESPN at the Infosys Theater, which is located at Madison Square Garden. I believe it used to be Hulu Theater. The ticket link is in my bio on my Instagram. Please use that ticket link. That's directly to me, so it can show that I got people that support me and I can sell tickets. It's co-main event against Lonnie Daniels at 168, defending my two titles. I have three, but only two are on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so look, boxing, right? So I'm a big boxing fan. You understand? And I took some lessons, Cirque City and all that back in the days or whatever. What make you got into boxing? Like, who inspired you to become a boxer? Because I know to become a boxer, you have to have the heart. Because you can't be no punk going in the ring. You get what I'm saying? You
Right.
got to be ready for that. So where did you get that inspiration from?
I got the inspiration because I was a star basketball player, and I was the type of basketball player that give you 40,
Woo.
but I
Yeah.
let the team score 41 or 42. So I needed more cardio, and I didn't want to run track or jump hurdles. So I kind of was in a neighborhood, and my mother was expecting me to be home on the off season, and I wandered into a gym. And when I went into the gym, I noticed it wasn't packed. It wasn't a lot of females, and there wasn't a lot of people lined up to do it. and it gave me this great sense of fear. You know, the first time I sparred a guy, I got my jaw dislocated.
Yeah,
10 years later, that same guy came to the gym and I cracked him.
yeah.
So
Wow.
I wanted to learn the sport. I was invested. I was heavily invested. I struggled with it and I wanted to learn. So it kept me in the gym. It kept me training, and that's what inspired me.
You ever had a fight before boxing?
Yeah, I fought a lot in Patterson on the ground. I wasn't really nothing to mess with in the streets. I was the oldest of four, and it was my job. You know, most of my fights were over my brothers and sisters. You know, I didn't really have too much trouble, but they couldn't. You know, there was a rule my mother had. You know, nobody comes home with their behind whooped, and I was the person that ignited that, made sure that was firm.
Well,
You was beat, so
hold
you was
up.
beating people up in school 13, huh?
Yeah,
Rest in
yeah, I
peace to
was.
Merce. Rest in peace to Merce, because that was a good friend of mine.
Yeah,
And I mean, I have a lot of history with your father. You probably just don't know who I am yet, because you was
yeah.
younger. But the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Remember that.
No,
You know what I mean? And
right.
he was a stand-up dude. He carried himself well, and I could see that in you. You know what I mean? But when you see Carissa Shield, you got to do that for Merce.
Absolutely. I
You know what I
mean, I
Yeah.
mean?
always think about like what he thinking about, what he would say. He was an enforcer too in my life, and when I was young, if we had problems with other children or whatever, I remember he used to load us in that van, and I remember one time he had me on a stakeout plotting somebody that punked me the day before,
Yeah. We always
and
living on William Street.
now we was living on East 24th Street, and the corner store was right down the street. And the
Okay.
kid was
Yeah.
living. The kid was he was beating everybody up, and he was living next door. And I watched him go in the store. I said, "Mercy, he went in the store." He's like, "You did? Let's go." And
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
walked me down there, and he said, "Get him, Shadasia," and I got him. So he definitely is a part of that.
And that's crazy because that was 24th Street between 14th and 15th Ave.
Right
How
And
around the corner from School 13.
I lived on that block. I just did an interview on that block with a brother. Actually, my interview yesterday was with my brother. He lived across the street from Merce and across the street from me. I lived on the same side of Merce. He just did 44 years in jail, just came home. I just did the interview on that block yesterday, which is on
Yesterday, yeah. I
my
seen that. I was watching that.
Wow, yeah, that's
Wow.
amazing.
What school you went to in Patterson again?
13
For the
master
world,
school.
13. Now, I know that, but, for the listeners, you know what I mean?
I went to School 13, and I went to Patterson Eastside.
Both, come on, man. Shout out to East Side, shout out to Master Grounds, shout out to the whole Park Ave, shout out to, come on, man. We in the heart of the Star.
I gotta drop a bomb. I gotta drop a bomb for Patterson. You know what I mean? Patterson in the
I don't,
building.
yo, I don't want to hold you up because I know you in
Yeah,
training
you got
camp. I know
things
you
to do.
tired.
Yeah, appreciate
But
that.
give another shout out to the sidewalk. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Worldly Hype. And shout out to GZ Global Footprint. Shadeja Green is here.
Listen, man, I appreciate y'all for having me. Shout out to Worldly Hype Radio, and what's the other one?
GZ Global.
GZ
Ground
Shout
Zero.
Global
out, shout out to GZ Global Ground,
and
GZ Global, and
That's right. Ground
World Hype
Zero. That's
Media. World
and
Hype
Ground
Media.
Zero, Ground Zero on World Hype Media. I appreciate y'all for having me, man. Let me get out of here.
come
All
on,
right,
man. The champ is here.
the camp is here.
Matthew 33,
Much
feedback.
love, man.